の提供でお送りします。
Hey guys, Kakarot197 again. This time with a review of the 1/44 scale high-grade Universal Century Ex-S-Gundam from the Gundam Sentinel series. And this model kit has been provided to me by the awesome people of Hobbylink Japan, so if you want your own, there is a link in the description down below. But before I go any further with this review, when you're buying this, you should also get an action base. Despite what the manual and box shows you, this thing has some serious balance issues. And this behemoth of a mobile suit requires the action base 1, 4, or any future master grade compatible action base. So yeah, it goes without saying that the Ex-S-Gundam is a big, impressive, thick boy. But once you look past the eye-catching bulk of this beast, things get a little bit less impressive for the modern Gunpla builder. As a typical kit from 2002, we get seam lines galore, parts that don't completely line up, and a tiny bit of flash here and there. On the flip side, the seam lines are crisp and give this thing a lot of detail for a high grade. When it comes to the regular stickers, we only get a minuscule sticker sheet containing the usual eye stickers, metallic ones for the shoulder vents that are actually molded in white, making painting easier, and a metallic green one for somewhere you can hardly see. But don't go celebrating just yet. While it is definitely a colorful model kit for 2002 standards, it will still need a lot of painting to be color accurate. So it would have actually been nice to get a significantly bigger sticker sheet. The forehead crest should be red with green on the inside, the fin should be yellow, and the back grill should be gray. You'll need red for the edge of these wings and these wings, then you'll need some black for the inside of the shoulder thrusters, the inside of the arms, and these pieces on the hip-mounted beam cannons. And talking about black, various bits of the black backpack should be white, and the middle pieces of the white beam cannons should be black. These two sensors on the tail should be green, just as these, and these. As for the rest of the legs, these fins should be gray, these yellow, and all of the upper feet black. And finally, good luck painting almost all of this sensor array for the Beam Smart Gun. But hey, at the very least, once you're done with all of that, you will get yourself a really cool looking Ex-S-Gundam that even comes with a bunch of marking stickers to make the look complete. I really wish more high-grade Gundams came with these. And with all of that out of the way, let's have a look at the accessories that this thing comes with. Starting with what's already on the machine, we get 4 articulated beam cannons on the back and 2 on the hips. We also get 2 income units on the legs and 1 on the head, none of which is meant to be removed, and neither are the beam sabers. But fortunately, we do get an amazing pair of solid beam chopsticks. I'm not a fan of these, but it's all we've got, and again, 2002. The main event of this kit is, of course, the impressive Beam Smart Gun. And for such a long weapon, the dedicated right trigger finger hand does an amazing job of holding on to it. Or if holding on to weapons isn't your thing, you can also use these 2 connectors, one for the crotch and one to replace the left beam cannon, to connect the cannon to the Ex-S-Gundam directly and use the included open palm hands to recreate one of its signature poses. Another possibility is to open up this hatch, fold out the handle, and have the Ex-S-Gundam wield the Beam Smart Gun with both hands. And because this thing is a remold of the S-Gundam, we also have some leftover parts. We get a less bulky cockpit, 2 beam cannons, 4 thrusters, and some other junk. Onto the articulation, and believe it or not, this thing has a lot of movement, just not on the parts that would allow it to pose dynamically. The head is on a single ball joint that does virtually nothing. The shoulders, on the other hand, have a lot of moving parts. For starters, the wings on top have a ball joint, a pivot joint, and will even extend, giving you the faint hope that this thing can transform. It can't. But the shoulders can go forwards and backwards a bit and will rotate around if you're careful. The arms will go up and the blue piece hinges out along with it so as to not hinder the movement. It also rotates around below the shoulder, the elbow bends a bit over 90 degrees, and the hands are on ball joints and will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. The waist is mostly static except for falling backwards due to that giant backpack that also has some nice articulation for itself. The tail fin moves up and down, the cannons will rotate and hinge outwards, the thruster flaps will also hinge in and out, and the 2 giant thruster bricks will also rotate. The legs are on ball joints, so they'll rotate around a bit, go out a bit. Forwards movement is better, but is hindered because of the beam cannons hitting the back skirt, which also really hinders the backwards movement. And talking about armor hindering movement, this is a double jointed knee that you're looking at. Quickly moving on to the feet, they go forwards and backwards nicely, side to side, and will rotate around. So overall, you're not buying this thing for its dynamic posing. Which then immediately brings us to the inevitable question, do you want to buy this? Well, in a bubble for a 2002 model kit that costs 2,500 yen, I would say, yeah. You'll have to put some effort into this thing, but it does have the potential to be a really stunning piece. However, outside of its bubble, there is very little to sell this other than it's an adequate representation of the Ex-S-Gundam in 1/44 scale. If you want to buy an Ex-S-Gundam, go for the fully featured Master Grade, which I'll also have linked below. It does have its own problems and it is much more expensive, but in my opinion, it's worth every yen, dollar, euro, or whatever extra that you spend on it if you're a fan of this amazing Gundam. And if you're looking for an impressive, bulky high grade for around 2,500 yen, you also have some serious other options. You've got the parts forming Double Zeta Gundam, you've got the Doben Wolf and the Silver Bullet kits that are an amazing value for the retail price. So while it is still a kit worth getting for fans of the Ex-S-Gundam and 1/44 scale kits, the sad truth is that there are simply better options out there. So all that's left to do now is for me to compare it to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3, which for only 1,500 yen actually keeps up really well in the bulky department, especially those legs. And that's all for this review. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters and Hobbylink Japan for sponsoring this video. I hope that you all have a very happy new year, and I will see you all next year.